all seen more than once. Abraham Lincoln, nearly 1 in 10 people living in the United States were born in another country. And I kind of like how, he just kind of said that straight out, because it's true. Like, if you think of it, everyone living in the U.S. was at one point an immigrant. We all came from somewhere else. Like, I grew up here, but, my great-grandparents are from Germany and England and everywhere in Europe, basically. Abraham Lincoln asked what connection those immigrants could possibly feel to people like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams, who founded our nation. Next. And then he continues to say, here was his answer: if they, the immigrants, look back through the history to trace their connection to those saved by blood, they will not find they have any. But our founders proclaimed that we were all created equal in the eyes of God, and that is the founders' electric cord. That is the declaration that moves the hearts of patriotic and liberty-loving people everywhere. And so I kind of, like, in the middle of that quote, like, first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, Lincoln, what are you doing? Where are you going with this? But, then he went on to basically say, just everyone, no matter what, we are one nation. Like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, like, what Bobby is, what John is, what I am. We're American, like, we're one nation. And so, no matter what your different social, what your cultures are, we're still one people. Okay.
All right, good. All right. Okay, so I was tasked with finding a political speech. Just to be clear, our topic is language and ethnicity. So trying to find a speech on language and ethnicity proved to be sort of difficult. So I decided to ask my girlfriend, who is a speech pathologist, for some help, and it was not worth anything. She had nothing for me. But so we had a couple discussions though, and I had this memory all of a sudden, and she wouldn't remember it because she's from Kentucky, wasn't here in the Bay Area when it happened, but it was a huge debate, huge deal, and she said she actually heard of it in Kentucky, but didn't know all the details that I was able to fill her in on because I'm from West Pittsburgh. Anyway, so I want to introduce you guys to Ernie Smith. This was a 1992 speech he gave to the school board in Oakland. Okay, and I'll just play a little quick clip, and then we'll explain it. Let me make sure that the sound is right.
Professor Smith, will you start this discussion by giving us a brief synopsis of the concept of Black English and a statement on the origin of this linguistic pattern among many Black Americans?
To wish to create even more confusion, let me first begin by introducing another term, and that term is the word Ebonics. The word Ebonics is a compound of two words, ebony, which means black, and phonics, which means sounds. Now, in 1973, at a psycholinguistics conference convened under a grant from the National Institute of Mental Health, a professor by the name of Robert Williams, a psychologist at Washington University, invited a number of scholars